Okay, I'm very confused. I have no idea if I'm live or not. I mean, it's saying that I'm live, but then it also says waiting. So I don't know. What happens if I refresh this? Okay, I'm guessing we're live? Yeah. Well, okay, I'm gonna take a guess and say that we're live. All right, for those of you who don't know, today is Constitution Day because today in history, the Constitution was allegedly created, and it was not an accident that it happened on this day in history because today is September 17th or the 17th of September, 17/9. Constitution is 179. And even it starts off with the phrase, we the people. I'm sure a lot of us watched Schoolhouse Rock when we were a kid. And we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, etc., etc. We the people, that phrase equals 41 because 179 is the 41st prime number. Then if you write out USA, that equals 41. Also, even though the Constitution was created in Philadelphia, because that was the capital at the time, just look at the date numerology, 130 and 49. Washington, 130 and 49. That's where the capital is now. And we move to the second date. So it's created on September 17th, or the 17th of September, and then presented on the 28th of September. Now, something that I just realized is that 28/9, like 289, that's 17 squared, like 1717, like Freemasonry was created in 1717, and Mason is 17. Well, let me pull up that second date. It was 9/28, 1787. Yeah, and 271 is which prime number? It's the 58th prime number. Yeah, and that makes sense because Freemasonry is 58. And we just said 271 is the 58th prime number. It was, what was the term they used? It was presented on 28/9, the 271st day of the year. There's another, I feel like there was another 271 in here somewhere. Maybe not. Is there another 58 in here? No, sorry, my bad. I'm tripping. But okay, the next day we want to look at is June 21st, 1788, because that was the day that was ratified. So we'll just June 21st of the next year. So that was, well, they say it was on the 173rd day of the year, but that was a leap year. So June 21st is normally the 172nd day of the year. And the Jesuit motto, Ad Merum de Gloriam, is 172. There's also the day leaving 193 days left in the year. And just you write out the Constitution, that equals 193. And the translation of Ad Merum de Gloriam is, hold on, give me a second, Ad Merum de Gloriam. That's translated for the greater glory of God. And the phrase for the greater glory of God equals 135. And the Constitution of the United States, that's the official name. The Constitution of the United States, or just Constitution of the United States, however. But if you include the it's 135. So you can see there, 135. And we'll get back to 135 in a minute. The next date that we want to look at is March 4th. March 4th, 1789. Like it was 76 weeks. Of course, our country became so-called independent in 76. But look at this. So it's on 3/4. All right. Freemasonry 139, the 34th prime. The Jesuits were created in 1534. And we're going to talk about 34 a lot more later because there are two famous athletes right now that were born on Constitution Day. The first being Alex Ovechkin, who plays in the nation's capital, and the second being Patrick Mahomes, who went to White House High School. Come on, man. That's just like in your face and no one sees it. Anyways, 34 is huge with Ovechkin because if we look at his first and only Stanley Cup final, there were 34 combined goals scored in that Stanley Cup final. And that was in Las Vegas, by the way. And Pat Mahomes, if you just look up, shoot, I thought I had it on here. Here it is. Yeah, just Mahomes. The last name Mahomes is 34. Alex Ovechkin, he was born in 85. Pat Mahomes' first Super Bowl was in the beginning of 2020, which means Alex Ovechkin was 34 when Pat Mahomes won his first Super Bowl. And then, if you remember just earlier this year, oh shit, wrong tab. In the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, Mahomes completed 34 passes. Again, 34 passes. Just like Ovechkin was in the Stanley Cup final, which ended in the same city. Well, maybe technically not the same city. I'm not sure. Actually, they are both in Paradise, Paradise is technically unincorporated, which sounds weird to me. But anyway, same city. 34 goals scored in the series, 34 completions. And I'm sorry, here it is. If we go back to 9/17. September 17th, that's the day leaving 105 days left in the year. Alex Ovechkin made his NHL debut on October 5th, so 10/5. 10/5 is also the day leaving 87 days left in the year. And of course, the Constitution was created and presented in 87. Patrick Mahomes' favorite target, Travis Kelce, he was born on October 5th. He's also 34 right now, funny enough. Okay, what else is there to talk about? Yeah, and March 4th, that was the date that the, what's it called? The presidential inauguration was on March 4th, but then it moved to the 20th of January, 20/1. And also at 32, it was what they call, what's the term for this? It was made effective on March 4th. So the date that it was made effective had 113 date numerology. So that's automatically a red flag. The day leaving 302 days left in the year and had 32 date numerology. Of course, there's 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. Alex Ovechkin won the Stanley Cup at age 32. And if you go back and look at that, I'd have to go back to that Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah, and there was another 32 here. It was, I want to say, that's right. The Capitals' first win of the series was 3-2. Ovechkin, 32 years old. I could have sworn like Kuznetsov had like, there was like the list of how many points they had. Shoot. Maybe I have to go to here. Yeah, there's Kuznetsov led the way with 32 points in the postseason. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, and then the other thing I was looking up because I know that also another thing that's interesting tying in 201 with all of this, because the Constitution was created in Philadelphia. And if I go to, shoot, how should I do this? 2008 Stanley Cup playoffs. I've already clicked on it. This was the first time Alex Ovechkin made the playoffs. If you go back and look at their season, you'll find out they clinched a playoff spot 201 days after his birthday. And then they end up playing Philadelphia, the previous capital, versus Washington, the current capital. And look at that, the final score of the final game was 3-2. And there's something else here. Oh, that's right, because I wanted to look up when the capital moved. It was on May 15th, 1800, and we know that is the 135th day of the year. And we were showing earlier how for the greater glory of God equals 135. The Constitution of the United States also equals 135. And for a second, it kind of panicked. So I was like, oh, 1800 is a leap year. But then, no, 1800 was not a leap year because there's this weird thing about leap years who are not every 4 years. Sometimes not every 4 years is a leap year because it's kind of confusing. But I want to say this. Christian's capital on June 11th, 1800. So that's which day of the year is that? It's 151 plus 11. That's the 162nd day of the year. Did we have any 116s here? Oh, Admiriam de Gloria was 116. Okay, well, yeah, that's interesting. That's not a coincidence. How long did it take? So May 15th to June 11th. Let's look at that. May 15th, 1800 to June 11th, 1800. 27 days. I don't really know the Philadelphia gematria. I know that, yeah, I knew about 223 and because I knew about 118 because they made the 118th World Series. And then Philadelphia 61. That 118th World Series, that was the 6th seed versus the 1 seed. And it was the Astros' 61st season. And then, oh yeah, sorry, one last thing. And of course, in Washington, D.C., there is a Constitution Avenue. I think it's, down here, Constitution Avenue. And I was looking at where the Capitals play. Here it's at Capital One Arena. And talking about 302, actually. Where was it? It was, what was the date? Oh, yeah, when it was when the Constitution was made effective. On the day leaving 302 days left in the year. The Capitals Arena is called Capital One Arena, but it hasn't always been called that. And it's like the Capitals playing Capital One Arena. How about that? But tell me when the date. There, yeah, August 9th, 2017. We go from the date from August 9th, 2017 to the date that the Capitals won the Stanley Cup. That was 302 days. Not a coincidence. Of course, the day leaving 144 days left in the year. And that was, yeah, 263 days after Ovechkin's birthday, 56 prime, Society of Jesus 56. And it was 14 weeks and 4 days before his next birthday. Yep, perfectly planned. But anyways, of course, 6776, however you want to write it. Washington Capitals 76. our country supposedly became independent in 76. Look where the Capitol's arena is. It's in between 6th and 7th Street, or 7th and 6th Street, and also in between G and F Street. G is the 7th letter, F is the 6th letter. Do you think that was strategically planned location? Most very likely. I mean, I have been to Washington D.C. before. It's been like over a decade. I don't really remember any of this, but from what I've heard, this area is called Chinatown. Let's see if that has anything. I'm not expecting it to have anything. I don't know, but yeah, that location there between G and F and 7th and 6th, that was definitely a planned location. No doubt about it. Actually, let's see if it says anything about that. Between 6th and 7th. Yeah, so the Wikipedia article mentions it that's between 6th and 7th and F and G. But I don't know if anyone will make the connection that F and G are the 6th and 7th letters. Let's just see if they say anything about the connection between 76. Oh yeah, they were still called the Bullets back then. Yeah, I don't know why they make the Wizards so irrelevant, but probably maybe because they don't have like a patriotic theme to them like the Nationals or the Capitals. Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about the Constitution. And of course, we're told in class that the Constitution, that's what makes our country so great. But I mean, did it really? It replaced the Articles of Confederation, which allegedly they were told that the Articles of Confederation weren't strong enough. So it created the Constitution, but the Constitution kind of goes against the reasoning why we became independent in the first place. So that's just what they do. That's how they mess with us. All right, did I have anything else to say here? I guess if there is one more thing that I want to say, it's that Mahomes is currently 3-1 in Super Bowls right now. Doesn't necessarily have to happen this year, but given the fact that he's born on 17/9, and oh, another thing, I forgot to mention this. Do I have it on here? No, I don't. He plays in Kansas City. That's another 32. We're talking about how no, what? Sorry, let me go back to the 3-4. 1789. Yeah, 32 date numerology. Holmes plays for the Chiefs. Kansas City, 32. Chiefs, 32. Right there, Chiefs, 32. With all the 41 connections with the Constitution, I mean, Mahomes is 3-1 Super Bowls right now. I think it's doesn't necessarily have to happen this year, but I think it is a likelihood that at some point he will become 4-1 in Super Bowls. Super Bowl 41 and 131, 32nd prime. Of course, Kansas City was in the first Super Bowl as well. Sorry about that. Oh, of course, yeah, that's I didn't realize We the People is 58, like Freemasonry just said. Super Bowl 58, where Mahomes won it on his 34th completion when the Constitution was, what was the term they used again? made effective on 3/4. Yeah, that's it's frustrating how they do this, but it's the way they operate. We can see through it. No one else does. Don't know if I have anything else to say. I mean, I made my points about Constitution, moving from Philadelphia to DC, the connection with Ovechkin and Mahomes. I think that's enough for today.